What if you could just describe an idea and have it instantly become software? Today, we're going to dive into a concept that's moving us way beyond rigid commands and into something, well, something way more intuitive. It's called vibe coding, and it might just change everything about how we bring ideas to life.
Come on, you know the feeling. We've all been there. You have this perfect, crystal clear vision in your head. Maybe it's an app, a website, some cool little tool. But the second you sit down to actually build it, you hit a wall. A giant wall made of code. And yeah, that wall has a name. I like to call it the tyranny of syntax. It's that incredibly frustrating gap between the amazing thing you want to create and the super specific, totally unforgiving language you have to use to tell a computer what to do. I mean, just look at this. On the left, you've got your pure, brilliant idea. And on the right, the harsh reality. That beautiful portfolio site becomes this nightmare of missing semicolons and CSS that just refuses to cooperate. Your simple app gets hopelessly tangled in complex frameworks and endless debugging. It really feels like your creativity is being held hostage by tiny technical details. It's a feeling that has left so many incredible ideas gathering dust on a shelf. But what if there was another way, a way to finally bridge that gap between your vision and the final product? And that brings us to the hero of our story today, vibe coding. The whole idea here is simple, but it's also pretty profound. What if you could just describe the feeling, the aesthetic, the vibe, and let something else figure out the how? So, to put it simply, vibe coding is an approach where you just talk to an AI in plain English. You describe the outcome you want, the functionality, even the feeling you're going for, and the AI takes that vibe and translates it into precise, working code. This analogy just nails it. You're no longer the painter getting bogged down with every single brushstroke, every single line of code. Instead, you get to be the visionary. You just describe the scene to a super skilled artist who can bring it to life in an instant. Now, this isn't just some sci-fi theory. It's actually happening right now. And one of the places where this magic is coming to life is in tools like Google's AI Studio. This is the canvas where your vibe becomes real, actual code. So what is AI Studio really? Well, think of it like a playground for developers and creators. It's a tool you can access right from your web browser that gives you direct access to Google's most powerful AI models. It's all about letting you experiment and build prototypes at, frankly, unbelievable speeds. It is tailor-made for this whole new way of thinking. But hey, talk is cheap, right? The best way to really understand vibe coding is to just see it work. So let's walk through a couple of quick examples of how a simple prompt can generate a real prototype. Okay, check out our first prompt. Notice the language here. We're not writing code at all. We're describing a feeling. Retro style, pixel art, bright neon colors. We just state the key parts we need, and that's it. We've set the vibe. So what's happening under the hood? Well, first, the AI parses that vibe. It's picking up on those keywords like retro and neon. Then it chooses the right building blocks, HTML tags, CSS styles, and finally, it just assembles them all into working code. And here's the result. Boom. In just a few seconds, we get the HTML for a header, the CSS for that awesome black and neon look, and the button. A whole basic structure created from nothing but a description. Just think about how much time and frustration that just saved. Okay, let's kick it up a notch. This time, we're not just asking for a style, we're describing actual functionality. The prompt is asking for an input field, a button, and a list where you can add and check off items. This is a classic project for anyone learning to code. And this is where it gets really amazing. The AI doesn't just spit out some pretty HTML, it writes the JavaScript logic to make the app actually work. It creates the function to add items, it attaches that function to the button, it even throws in some clean CSS. It's not just building the body, it's building the brain of the application. So let's just pull back for a second. When you can go from a simple description to a working prototype in a matter of minutes, what does that actually mean for the future? It means a huge, fundamental shift in how we think about making things. The impact is just so clear. Your development speed goes through the roof. The technical barrier to entry, that wall of syntax, it just plummets. And as a result, your creative freedom absolutely skyrockets. You're no longer limited by what you know how to code, only by what you can imagine. So what's the bottom line? It means lightning-fast prototyping. It means we're lowering the barrier so more people with great ideas can build them. The AI becomes less of a tool and more of a partner in creativity, you know? It handles all the tedious stuff so you can focus on the what, the big idea, the user experience, instead of getting lost in the how. And that brings us to the final and honestly, the most exciting question of all. I really want you to think about this for a second. If that wall of syntax just disappeared tomorrow, and all you needed was a clear vision and a few sentences to get started, what would you build first?